Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a mid-year book tag. I saw my favorite YouTuber, I say it in every video, Sarah, do this video. Basically, I asked myself a bunch of questions. You guys could answer the questions too on your own. I'll put them in the description. I just answer a bunch of questions and give you guys a book answer. So you guys will see now when we get started. So the first question is best book you've read so far in 2023. So for this one, I think we're all gonna know. Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I picked these two specifically because these are the ones I gave 5 stars. The first book was good, but I loved these more. I literally think about these books every single day of my life. Basically, this whole series surrounds around this, I wouldn't say group of friends, but like these characters that live in London. Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates are the main girl characters, obviously, so the books are named. And then Magnolia Parks follows Magnolia and BJ and their very complicated relationship and their lives too. And then Daisy Hates surrounds Daisy, Christian, and Julian. Julian is Daisy's brother, and he's like a main part of the book too. I love this series. These books and the series is just amazing. Yeah, best books I've read so far in 2023. Magnolia Park series. Next question is best sequel I've read so far in 2023. I mean, obviously, the Magnolia Parks, obviously. Like, did we even have to question it? I'm not even gonna talk about it for that long because I just talked about it. But yeah, Magnolia Parks is the first book and it's just amazing. Next one I'm gonna say is Archer's Voice and Travis. I actually really enjoyed these books. If you guys don't know, Archer's Voice came first. It's about Archer, and I always forget characters' names. Oh, it's Bree. It doesn't even say her name, but I just remembered it. I don't even think it says her name on the back. That's crazy. Well, the main character's name is Bree and Archer. Basically, Bree moves to this town and she's new there, and she meets Archer, which she thinks doesn't like her because he doesn't speak. But turns out he can't, and it just becomes this whole thing, and obviously they become a couple, and this book was so cute. And then the book that comes right after is Travis, which Travis is in the first book, but he's actually really mean. So this is kind of like his redemption book, and I really enjoyed it. I think it portrayed his character so well, and it really gave him the redemption that he needed. And yeah, the romance in this book is cute too, but I mostly like how they let Travis be a better person in this book. So yeah, another good sequel I read this year. A new release that I haven't read yet that I want to read. So first we have Things We Hide from the Light. This, I'm pretty sure it isn't that new, but it is pretty recent and I haven't read it yet. It's just been sitting on my shelf. Just like Things We Never Got Over was sitting on my shelf for a while because of the thickness of it. But because I really enjoyed Things We Never Got Over, I'm so excited to get into this book. It's about his brother from the first book and Lena. Where's his brother's name? Why don't they ever say the characters' names? Nash. It's about Nash and Lena. Yeah, don't really know what it's about, but I'm excited to get back into it just because I loved seeing their characters in Things We Never Got Over. Another new release that I want to read that I haven't gotten to yet is Happy Place. I am pretty late. I feel like everyone's read Happy Place, but I did order it online yesterday, so it's gonna get here soon. I'm gonna start it soon. I am going on a vacation, so I want to bring that book and read it there. I haven't been able to read the book, and I want to so bad, so I can't wait to read that. My most anticipated reads for the next half of the year. I have a few because there's so many new releases that I'm so excited for. So the first one is What Happens After Midnight. I think that's what it's called. And it's the second book to Summer Broken Rules. I'm actually reading this right now. If you heard me rant about this book, then you would know I'm literally obsessed with this book. So I'm so excited to see what the next book is even going to be about. If it's going to be the same place. Like, I'm so excited. I get so excited talking about this book. But yeah, I'm so excited to buy that book and read it and be obsessed all over again. Next book is Things We Left Behind, which is from the Knock 'Em Out series. It's Things We Never Got Over, which is on my shelf. I don't know why I didn't bring it. It's Things We Never Got Over, and then Things We Hide from the Light. And then the next book is Things We Left Behind, which is like a purple cover. I love the covers. They're literally so pretty. But yeah, that book is Lucian and Sloane, which we get crumbs in the first book. People have talked about that we get crumbs in the second book too. So I can't wait to hear about them because I've been waiting for them ever since I heard about them in this book. So yeah, I'm excited for that release. For biggest surprise, the book that I didn't think I was gonna like that I did like was Reminders of Him. I read this in a book vlog, so go watch that video, but everyone had always like not really talked down on the book, but they didn't hype it up as much, and they always said like that it was a cute book, but not that cute. I saw people like actually not even like it. Marcella, my friend, didn't really like this book, but I loved it. If you watched the video, you know I gave it 5 stars. I loved this book, loved the story of it. It had a deeper meaning. It really surprised me because since all of the reviews were very like, not negative, but not super positive, I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this book. But I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. One of my favorite books I've read this year. So to explain Reminders of Him, basically, Kenna moves to the town where her child is that she hasn't been able to be with ever since she was born because she's been in prison for 5 years. And she's trying to get back into her child's life, but everyone that is taking care of her child won't let her, obviously, because they don't trust her. But the thing about this book is that you get both sides. And to hear her side, it's like you understand her and you feel so bad for her. And then you hear the family side that's taking care of her child and you understand them too, why they wouldn't trust her. So it's just so conflicting, but I just loved this book so much. So beautiful. I loved it. Next book is 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book was very different. It is a romance, but there was like a lot more to it. The reason it surprised me was because I just listened to what Marcella says. I feel like I've mentioned Marcella in every one of my book videos, but Marcella was like, I don't really think you're gonna like it. So that's how I went in. I was like, maybe I won't like this book, like I don't know. And I actually ended up really liking it. I gave it 4.5 stars. And yeah, it really surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I liked it. So basically, it's about Evelyn Hugo, and she's being interviewed by this girl, and you get some of the girls like story too, but it's mostly about Evelyn Hugo and all her loves that she's had throughout her life and her life as a celebrity, and it's actually really interesting. For favorite new author, I will say Jessa Hastings. I've never read one of her books before. I'm pretty sure these are her only books. If I'm not mistaken, maybe if she has other books, catch me reading them ASAP. The way these books are written are like crazy. The quotes in this book, like I don't know how she thinks of this stuff. It's amazing. She's an amazing author. So definitely one of my faves now. I will say Lucy Score too. I actually really liked her writing in Things We Never Got Over. When I first started the book, I thought the book was like too long. I was like, there's no way a romance is this long, like for no reason. But it felt the perfect like length. Like maybe it could have been shorter, but then you would have to remove plot for that. So I think the size of the book is perfect for what goes on in the book. I was entertained the whole time. There was not one second where I was bored. I actually finished the book pretty quick, and yeah, she wrote this amazing. I loved it, and I kind of want to read more of her other books, so she has a lot of other books. So yeah, Lucy Score. Another author that I actually really liked was Lynn Painter. Her books are just so like cutesy. I read Better Than the Movies, I read The Do-Over, and she has other books too, which I do want to read. But when I read Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over, it was just such a cute and fun book. Yeah, and I loved her writing. It feels so fun in there. So for newest fictional crush, I'm gonna say, first of all, Christian and Julian. Christian and Julian. Like, I literally feel like I'm in the book and they give me butterflies. Like, I'm obsessed with them so much. So yeah, I would say Christian and Julian from Daisy Hates. It's the fact that I'm so obsessed with them that whenever, like when I read Magnolia Parks after reading the first Daisy Hates and we got crumbs of like Christian and Julian, I would like start blushing. I was like, oh my god, why are they here? So I would say Christian and Julian, and then also Gus from Beach Read. I reread this book this year and I forgot how much I love Gus and how much of like a flirt he is, and he's just like, his sarcasm, he's so funny. I just love him. Like, I forgot how much I loved him, and now that I reread it, I'm obsessed. So, Gus from Beach Read. If you haven't read this book, you need to read this book. Another character is Ledger from Reminders of Him. He like has both sides to him. He could be hot, but he could also be so sweet and so cute, and he's just everything a girl would want in a guy. And last one is Wit from Summer Broken Rules. I am reading this for the second time, but I'm reading it again this year, so I'm gonna count it. I love him. I love him. I need him. Yeah. yeah. If you guys haven't heard of this book, basically it's about Meredith. She goes back to this place in the summer every year, but she hasn't gone in about 2 years ever since her sister passed, and she's going back for one of her cousin's weddings. They play assassin and she falls for this guy, Wit, which I don't know how no one would be obsessed with, but yeah, it's such a fun summer read. I think this is the best summer book I've read. So yeah, highly suggest, and everyone's gonna fall in love with Wit. Books that made me cry, I'm just gonna, we already know, you know, I'm just gonna put these here. Yes, all 3 of them made me cry, so there's that one. Reminders of Him obviously made me cry. I think we would know that. I vlogged about it. There's evidence of me crying while reading this. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful but sad book. I cried in every single part of the book. The beginning, middle, end, enough said. I cried reading Beach Read. I don't think I cried the first time reading this, but the second time that I read it this year, I cried because there's like, if you've read it, there's like these notes she reads at the end, and they just really got me. And yeah, I was crying hysterically. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid also made me cry. I've read this book. It was the first book I read in the beginning of the year, and I gave it 5 stars. Loved this book. But it made me cry because there's so much that goes on in this book that it's like you're crying for everything. But it's a cute book. It's not like a really sad, depressing book. Basically, it's about Emma. She marries her high school sweetheart, but then he goes missing, and so she's no longer with him, and she's with a new guy, her boyfriend, and all of a sudden she gets a call that Jess is no longer missing. Everyone just assumed that he like died. He's no longer missing, so now he comes back and she's like, what do? Like, do I stay with the guy that I've been staying with, that I'm literally in love with? Or do I, you know, consider getting back with the guy I was about to marry and went missing? So it's a crazy book. Made me cry in the middle, in the end, everywhere. So yeah, loved this book. Books that made me happy. I feel like I'm gonna start repeating books now because we're getting, you know, kind of the books I've read already. A lot of the books I've read already are still up there because I didn't really want to put them in the video. They weren't that good to put in the video, but Archer's Voice made me so happy. They are so adorable, so wholesome. I loved them so much. Another one, Beach Read. Obviously it's in the summer, so I read it in the summer, and it just made me so happy, made me want to go to a summer house. And then again, Summer Broken Rules, like I said, it's an amazing summer book, so reading it now in the summer just makes me feel so happy, makes me want to be a part of the book, makes me want to go play assassin with like all my friends on the beach, and yeah, so such a good book. The most beautiful book I've bought this year, I'm gonna do it cover-wise, not book-wise, but obviously we gotta do the Magnolia Parks books. These books are literally amazingly beautiful. Like, look at these covers. I don't know how she comes up with these. I'm actually thinking of doing my senior crown Magnolia Parks theme because I saw a graduation cap that was decorated as it, and I was like, my school doesn't let me decorate our caps, so if I did a crown and it looks like this, don't be shocked because these covers are beautiful. Another book which the cover is beautiful is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I got the paperback, but the UK version and the hardcover one are so pretty. There's one where the colors are switched, so the black part is this color, and then this is like black. But yeah, this is such a pretty book. It's a fantasy book. Haven't read it yet, but I'm so excited to read it. I've heard only good things about this book. But yeah, it's such a pretty cover. I literally had it sitting there by itself because my shelf was getting like clustered, so I was like, this is a pretty book to put by itself. Another book where I love the cover is Flawless. If you know me, you know I love like anything country themed. I'm a country girl at heart, and once I saw this cover, I was like, I have to get this one because there's like 2 other covers, but this one is literally so nice. I love it so much. The other ones are really, really pretty too, but I didn't get them because if I didn't like this one, I didn't want to get the other ones, but I already know I'm gonna like it, so I can't wait to get the other ones because the other ones are like the same theme, but they're different colors. They have different things on like the little picture part. Last question is what books I need to read by the end of the year. I just talked about them, Once Upon a Broken Heart and Flawless. I bought these books not too long ago and I'm so excited to get into them. Flawless I'm gonna read really soon because I do want to read it like in the summertime. Once Upon a Broken Heart I'll probably read like in the fall. Yeah, I really want to read these before the end of the year. Obviously, Daisy Hates, the 4th book in the Magnolia Parks series. I just got this like yesterday, and as soon as I finish Summer Broken Rules, you best believe I'm already starting this book. So yeah, but I do want to finish it. obviously that's gonna happen. And then I have a lot of other books that I want to read by the end of the year. I have Addicted to You, which I'm a little late, but I've heard so much about this book. Everyone is obsessed with the series, so I wanted to start it, and I saw it at Barnes & Noble the other day, and I was like, I'm just gonna get it because it's about time I start it. Then I have Throttled, which I've heard is an F1 romance, and I've been wanting to get into like a car romance type of book because I've been watching Fast and Furious a lot. I just watched that one Spanish movie, and there's like a lot of racing in there, and I was like, I need to read this book soon. So I probably will read it sometime in the summer. But yeah, I really want to read it by the end of the year for sure. Then we have The Inheritance Games. This book has been sitting on my shelf for a bit, but I do want to get into this book probably around the fall time. This series, also heard that it's really good, so hopefully I like the first book so I can continue on with the series. And then the last book is If He Had Been With Me. Also heard great things about this book. Not that it's like a very happy book. Everyone says that it's a really, really sad book, but they've heard that it's a really good book. So I can't wait to start this book. There is another book coming out because this is from the girl's point of view. So the next book is gonna be the boy's point of view. So, and everyone's like excited for that one to hear his point of view. So I wonder what happened. So I'm just so excited to read this book, and I definitely need to finish it by the end of the year. So yeah, that is the end of this video. That was my book tag. I have like books everywhere now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you know when I post my next video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.